Welcome, everyone. We're going to kind of see if anyone else is going to come on. We have like 72 people that are signed up for this class and only a couple of us here yet. So we'll kind of see how everybody comes and gets on here a little bit late to start, but that's okay. Welcome to the fun. So hopefully everybody is doing really well this Sunday and really enjoying your weekend. I know some of you might also be feeling anxiety, have to go back to work, things like that. So maybe hopefully this will be a nice close for your weekend and helping you guys find a little peace and moving you forward towards healing a little bit. Maybe we shall see. So welcome guys to the class today. And this class I called scrubbing time, and maybe I should have reversed it and called it time scrubbing. But really the focus on this class is to help you guys understand why and how to heal the past. And a lot of this summer, my client sessions and what I've been doing has been focused on fight or flight healing. I really realized that if we're in fight or flight, it doesn't matter what kind of healing we do, we're still going to stay in the unhealed versions of ourselves. I've had so many clients who have come in and I've done readings for them and I've picked up, XYZ from childhood or whatever. And they're like, well, I thought I healed that. Why is this still coming up? And at first I didn't have a good answer. I was like, I don't quite really know. I don't know. And then when I really went and thought about it and kind of prayed and meditated on it and journaled on it and asked spirit about it, and I was like, oh, it's because the past self is still in fight or flight. Oh, it's because they healed the current self but not the past self. And all of a sudden these epiphanies started going, and I was like, oh, no wonder I'm still stuck. So it was even an epiphany for me. I was like, oh, that's why, I'm like, hey, I'm like the spiritual badass who's still chubby wubbies and who still has panic attacks and who still struggles with things because I'm healed. But I say this to my clients every freaking session, and it just finally clicked with me that past, present, and future, the subconscious, the soul, the body keeps track of everything. There is actually a scientific study, and I'm famous for reading studies and then not writing them down, so you'll have to Google on this, where they could actually find that the subconscious mind could predict the future up to 13 seconds in the future. I think it's a lot more than that. And I think the subconscious goes, oh, there might be something scary in the future. Oh, there might be something scary. Oh no, remember in the past when this happened, we better just keep our protection on. We better just watch these things. And it's just been a very profound experience for me working with clients and especially the ones that are like, other spiritual people, they're yoga masters, they're doctors. I work with a lot of like naturopaths and doctors and functional medicine practitioners and therapists and people like that. And they're like, I thought I healed this. And I'm like, okay. And I go into the subconscious mind and I ask, I say, show me where this started, where the illness started, where the trauma started, where you started gaining weight. And it'll often push me back all the way to childhood, sometimes to infancy, and sometimes even beyond that to generational stuff. And so a really big epiphany was a client that she was this Zen master yoga guru and really calm, kind of with it person. And she had an adrenal disorder. And she was like, I cannot figure out why I'm in adrenal dysfunction. I meditate. I am like really right on this stuff. What is going on? And if you don't know, adrenals are fight or flight. Those are fight or flight emotions. And I was like, yeah, that's very odd that someone of your spiritual abilities and yoga abilities and meditation abilities would be in fight or flight. And so we went in and I asked the body, I said, show me why you're in fight or flight. And the first thing that the body said to me is, I'm Jewish, And I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Why are you telling me this? And it was kind of like, what's going on here? And I said, well, can you go a little bit further? Can you show me a little bit more of what's going on? And it showed me this vision of this woman running through the forest, just like this, just in fear. And I told her, I said, your soul subconscious is showing me this vision of a woman running through a forest, just in absolute terror and fear. And she goes, oh my God, that's my grandma. That's not me. That's my grandma. My grandma ran from the Nazis during World War II in the forest for like 2 months trying to get to safety. And so we knew, oh my God, like this has nothing even to do with you. This has to do with your grandma, but it's ingrained in your DNA. It's stuck in your DNA. And so, you know, there is so many times that we look at these things and sometimes they're not even ours. Sometimes they're super subtle things that wouldn't even affect another person. I had a client who it was a scary movie that put her into fight or flight. A fender bender car accident triggered me into fight or flight. And, you know, I tell this to my clients often, you can have 3 people in a car and they all get in the same fender bender. And one person's going to go, whew, I'm so glad that wasn't so bad. Oh, it could have been way worse. We're so lucky. Like I'm cool, right? Deep breaths, they're good. No, nothing bothers them. The other person's going, oh my God, that was really scary. Yeah, we're okay, but it's going to take me a minute to calm down, right? And then they're able to process and they release. And after a week or 2, they're cool. And then you have the other person who's like, I almost died, and this is really scary, and it's still affecting me. And that's like me, where 3 years later, my husband like drives a little too fast or takes a turn too quick. And I'm like, and I hold onto the car and I'm going, yeah. And he's like, dude, chill out, right? Because that fight or flight got triggered. And I'm like, and my husband's never been in a car accident. We've been married 22 years. He's never been in an accident with me in the car, ever. He's like, had a couple minor things where like someone's like bumped the fenders or knocked off a mirror, nothing major. He's a good driver, right? But my fight or flight got triggered. And so when we look at how things get stuck in our bodies, it could be grandmas or moms or dads. And then we have an experience. Maybe it's as simple as watching a horror film. Maybe, pardon me, hiccups, it's more like a car accident, or maybe it's something worse, right? Like a really horrible thing that happened to us. And then our body gets that turned on, and it goes, I'm not safe. I'm not protected. The world around me is dangerous. I'm going to just stay in fight or flight. I'm going to stay this way because you never know. Something's going to happen again. And there's all these hurtful memories. And sometimes you don't even remember what happened to you, that are holding you so tightly in their grip that you don't know how to break free from them. Or you try to break free and you're not quite getting there. And, you know, that is something that is just super difficult when we feel like we have no control over our lives. We feel helpless. We feel powerless to change what happened to us. And yet we can draw the power from those moments. We actually are the only people on this earth that hold the power to heal ourselves. Not the doctors, not the therapists, nothing. Because look at this. You can have a therapist who treats 10 clients with the same disorders, and some get better and some don't. Why? Because the therapist did their job good with some and some not others, maybe. But maybe it's because some go, oh yeah, I can heal. Oh yeah, I have that power. Oh yeah, it's possible. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, cool. Same thing with doctors, and they give a prescription to 2 patients, and one they get healed and the other one doesn't. Why? You know, shouldn't the prescription work the same for everyone? Maybe. Or maybe it's because it's not a one size fits all thing. Maybe it's because one patient, you know, had something else inside them where their body was in fight or flight, and they're like, I can't heal. This is scary. This is too hard. And they get stuck, you know, and we hold on to the fear, the regrets, the guilt, the shame, the worry. we hold back on the forgiveness, and then we get stuck. And the reason why I call this time scrubbing or scrubbing time is because it's literally like we go through life and never quite have a bath. And so if you've ever been hiking or camping, you're going to understand how this feels, where you go several days and you're like, ugh, you can just feel the dirt crusting on your bodies. And you're like, I really need a bath. I really need to release all this stench and smell. It's the same thing with your spiritual body. It's literally like we're not taking a bath. We're not washing off all of that stuff. We're not cleansing. I mean, the first time someone taught me to root or ground, I remember how chaotic my energy was. I was like, I don't know what to do. And this guy's like, haven't you ever heard of grounding before? And I was like, no, what's that? And he taught me this, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I feel better. Oh, right. And it was this release. And then the first time someone taught me about cleansing my energy, I was like, really? Okay. And I did it, and I was like, ooh, this feels nice. And now I do it like every day after I work with clients. I take my cleansing bath and I do my cleansing ritual because it feels so good to just get all of that energy off of you. Because especially if you're a healer, even if you don't do anything with your spiritual gifts, you're going to feel all that energy stuck to you. If you work in customer service, you're going to feel like at the end of the day, you're like, ugh, I just, everybody's energy, all that yelling and discord and ugh, all over you. You work in, you like, I have nurses that are just like, I feel like you just feel gross because you're just picking up everybody's energy, everybody's chaos. And I really feel at one time we all had the ability, kind of like animals, where our souls communicated, we knew what was going on. And now we just kind of throw our energy out everywhere. We're just picking things up and not really understanding why we're picking up someone else's energy and what we're doing. And, you know, when we look at scrubbing time, you know, I talked about this kind of in the description of this course. This is literally like running our hands across the very fabric of time and saying, let me sweep those crumbs off. Let me wash that. Let me heal this. And sometimes this is this time travel. And I've taught this before in a couple of my other classes, but we're really going to get in more to this of what does it look like first to ask your body to take you back into time, to go back into time and find out what's going on. Now, your body might show you visions, it might show you feelings, it might show you sensations, emotions, taste, smells. And so we need to pay attention to every one of those sensations as we go through this. Because, you know, like for me, when I do a reading with someone, sometimes it's just like a feather across my skin. And before that would have never made sense to me. Now I'm like, oh, there's some energy in the hand. Oh, there's some itching over here. Oh, you know, I know what these things mean. And so we have to really pay attention to every little thing. Even if it doesn't quite make sense, I want you to pay attention to things. And what we are going to do is first, I'm going to teach you something I've taught to some people before. So this might feel repetitive for people who've been in my soul guide class or my intuitive classes, but we're going to teach this because we first need to break through the conscious mind and kind of through the subconscious. Now, the way that I view body, mind, and soul is that we have conscious mind, subconscious in the middle, and soul over here. Or you can call it your higher self, whatever, you know, the energy that is you, your chi, your ki, your prana, over there, right? And the job of this, you know, subconscious is to protect, to keep you safe. It sometimes acts as a barrier or a wall. And so when you're trying to intuitively tune into yourself and kind of go through time and things like this, that subconscious mind's going to go, excuse me, no, I don't want you back here. This is too scary. Don't come over here. It's kind of like when you have guests over and you shut rooms, like the doors of the rooms you didn't get a chance to clean. And you're like, don't go in there. Let's go to this room over here. Let's not open that door. Or, you know, don't open my fridge. I haven't cleaned it. Things like that. And that's kind of what the subconscious is. It's like, let me just show you all the nice parts. Let's just go over here. Let's not open up all those doors. This can feel triggering and traumatic. I will let you know. So this is really important that if you ever feel overwhelmed as we continue on tonight, pause, take a deep breath. This is something that does not need to all be done tonight or tomorrow or even next week. Do not push yourself faster or harder than your body wants to go, because we don't want to trigger anybody into an emotional meltdown or a breakdown or worse. Okay. If you feel that this is too emotionally much for you, please go work with a counselor or a therapist. This is a lot of spiritual stuff, and there's nothing wrong with piling on, different layers of healing and different people to support you. Okay. So I just, fair warning, a lot of my healing work can feel very intense and can also have intense results. And I try to warn people, and sometimes they're like, no, I'm cool. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm not. Especially when I work with the masculine genders. Uh, they're like, I'm cool. And I actually had one guy where he was like, can I just take a 5-minute break? And he literally got up from the call and went on a walk. And if you feel like you need to do that, go do that. There'll be a recording when we're done. Okay. Because I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed. And that's the most important thing. Okay, let's see what we're getting intuitively really quick. Okay, what I am feeling kind of intuitively to say about this too, this will feel a lot like climbing a rock wall. At first, I don't know if you've ever been rock climbing, which it's been a long time since I've been rock climbing, but I have. At first you're like, yeah, woohoo, getting up there. And then all of a sudden you're like, my fingers are hurting, my toes are hurting. This is getting really hard to get up this mountain. And I remember when I was rock climbing, I was like, this close to the top. And I was like, I want to get up there. And I was like, I can't. And I came back down. I was like, on belay, let me down, and they let me down. And I took a break and they let a few people go ahead of me. And then I went back up and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And I did it the second time around. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's kind of like rock climbing. It's going to feel difficult, hard. You're going to feel intense. And it's okay if you have to back down and just take a rest and come back. So, all right. So the first thing that we really need to know when it comes to scrubbing time is how to communicate with our higher self. And this is going to be, how do we push back through the anxiety? How do we understand what our higher self is telling us and wanting us to do? Okay, so some of this will involve some more intense work, prayer, meditation, journaling, communicating with your higher power. But the first thing I want to teach you guys is kind of a modified muscle testing kinesiology technique that I use to push through anxiety. And we need to know this first so that we need to know where we're going. Okay. So if you guys don't know about muscle testing, it's literally kind of like using your body as a pendulum, left, right, up, down, sideways, right? And so the first thing you're going to do with me on this is we're going to test our yes and our no. And the fun way to do this is I just go, my name is Stacy, and you can see that my body will pull forward. And then I will say, my name is Bob. Yeah, my name's not Bob. So it's pulling back. Now, your body might give you different sensations. You might go different directions. You might go left or right or back or forward. Some of this will depend on where your polarity is. If your polarity is reversed, if you're actively sick, if you're on your cycle, your polarity will be reversed. If you have autoimmune disease, your polarity can be reversed. So just kind of keep in mind that every time you do this, you're going to want to test for your yes and your no, because sometimes it's going to be switched around. Sometimes you need to go grounding. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So I want everybody to find your yes and find your no. So just say, my name is, and feel where your body is moving. And then you can just say something random. I don't think we have anyone named Bob here. We don't. Okay, so we can just say, my name is Bob. If your name is Bob and you're watching the replay, pick a name that's not yours. Okay. So we have our yes and we have our no. Okay, that's the first step. Next step, go a little bit deeper. I want to know, where is a false yes? Okay, false yes means that it might be ego, conditioning, things you've learned as a kid, through church, parents, school, that are kind of affecting the way that your body's moving. Okay. So false yes for me feels like it leads only with my head. Okay. And if I say, show me true yes, pulls forward, the whole body moves forward. Okay. So notice the difference between a false yes and a true yes. Show me a false no. Okay. That's only kind of leading kind of with the back of my skull. And a true no is the full body. Okay. So you're going to probably have to practice. I'd even suggest writing it down and remembering where my body goes. The next thing that we're going to ask is, where is protection? Okay. So for me, protection feels like a weight pushing me down, like a blanket. I do feel a little tiny bit of an anxiety, but it's like this anxiety feeling that's only in my heart. Okay. So that's how I feel, but you pay attention to how you feel. What is protection? Take a deep breath, kind of push that out. And now we're going to ask, show me anxiety. Okay, for me, anxiety kind of starts to rise up in the chest. Anxiety feels like confusion and dizziness. So that's really important. Show me messages from my higher self. Let me see. No, we need to ask that in a different way. Show me what messages from, let me just kind of feel into this for a second. Okay, let's ask, show me what messages from Creator, God, my higher power, whoever your higher power is, show me what messages from God feels like to me. Okay. I know for me, it almost feels like my body's being lifted up, kind of lightened, lighter feeling. So now that we kind of have these feelings and these kind of, we're going to use these as guideposts, kind of like a map to tell us where to go, how to do this and continue further. Okay. So this is going to be really helpful as we continue to navigate through scrubbing time and healing the past. Okay. And when we learn to communicate with the higher self, it can lead us on a path. It can lead us on this path that is so much more powerful than going where we think we need to go versus where we actually need to go. And I cannot tell you how many times I have worked with clients and we're like, okay, where's my little notebook? Let me just kind of show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so nobody's name is on this page, but you can look at this notes. We have all these notes. This person has a closed sacral and solar plexus chakra, right? And so we would say, okay, well, up here, we must need to heal the sacral and the solar plexus chakra. However, if I look at the solar plexus, it said left eye, left foot, teeth. So this person's solar plexus actually is not where we need to start. The soul is showing us the solar plexus actually is not the place we start. We're actually starting with the throat chakra, right? Because if you look at the throat chakra, it's communication, it's fear, it's manifestation. The solar plexus talks about unhealed emotions, retained emotions, right? And so if you're not speaking your truth, if you're holding on to fear, you swallow the emotions, they go clog up the solar plexus. So this person's solar plexus is actually saying, I actually need to start my healing in my throat chakra, not my solar plexus. And so that's why it's really important to be able to listen to your subconscious mind, to your body, and have it guide you where you need to go and release any need to control the outcome, to think about where you need to go. We might think, okay, I have a stubbed toe, I should work on my root chakra, but it depends on what toe, because every toe is connected to different chakras. And so really pay attention to where you're being directed versus where you think you need to go. And that's why this muscle testing is going to kind of help you get beyond your conscious mind. And we're going to move beyond the conscious mind. And so we're going to go into this meditation process. And it's different than a regular meditation. It's more of an awareness of communicating with your higher soul. And we're going to ask about releasing things. We're going to ask about going back in time. Keep in mind, you don't need to remember something to heal it. Your subconscious can say, that happened when we were 2, and you might be like, well, I have no freaking clue what happened when I was 2. Totally fine. You don't need to remember. All you need to do is ask, can we release this? And if your subconscious says yes, with that muscle testing, you feel that pull forward, okay, release and cleanse. If it says no, we're going to ask, what do you need to release? So kind of keep that in mind as we go. As I said earlier, if at any time you feel overwhelmed, just stop. You know, take a break, come back, watch the replay later, listen to the class. If you feel like laying down, you can. Totally up to you. But if you want to take notes, you're also able to do this as well. And so I will be using myself as a guinea pig. So I will be kind of speaking about my personal experience and asking my body. But you transfer what I'm doing to you, speaking your name, asking your body where we need to go. But I'm going to kind of describe what I feel and see in my own personal self, just so you guys will have a really good idea, an example of how this goes. And so we're going to go through it first with me as a guinea pig, which last time I did this, I know Nicole was there in that class when we were asking my body what I was afraid of, and it was like ice cream, and it was super embarrassing, but whatever. It'll be fun. You guys will probably get a laugh out of my own healing stuff. So I'll kind of go through it with me first to give you an idea of how it works, and then we'll go through it with you, okay? But you can follow along. If you want to just do everything I'm doing, you can go ahead too. Nicole, you want to be a guinea pig too? Okay, maybe we should just do it with Nicole. You want to do that then? Okay, we're going to do it with Nicole. And so Nicole, you want to unmute because you've done this process a little bit before.
Yep.
Okay, so Nicole's also a Reiki master as well, so I feel like we might get some really fun stuff going on here. Okay, so Nicole's also a Reiki master, so I'm going to kind of guide her through this. You're welcome to go through it with her, or you can just pay attention, take notes the first time, and then go through the second time. So we always start my meditations with deep breath, and we're really going to just kind of tune in with ourselves and go on this path, and then we'll repeat it again for you guys. All right, so Nicole, we're going to start, and anybody else who wants to follow along, like I said, you're welcome to start with 3 deep breaths. So first deep breath in, pure white light, and exhale out. Second deep breath in, pause, and exhale. Okay, third deep breath in, and exhale. All right, so the first thing I want you to do, Nicole, is I want you to ground yourself. And we're going to ground ourselves by sending roots, spikes, cords, whatever you want to envision, connecting yourself down into the earth, connecting yourself all the way into Mother Earth. I want you to envision the Vasudhara chakra, the earth star chakra, that energy ball below your feet. Curl that tendrils of whatever you're sending down around that ball of energy. Kind of draw that up through your feet. And then we're going to take that energy cord, pull it all the way up through your spine. And then we're going to send that up to your higher power, to God, Creator, the universe, angels, the stars, whatever you want to connect. We just need to create a connection, a heavenly connection, a divine connection. The reason that we're creating this connection is so that we're fully balanced and that our energy and our polarity is connected. All right, so Nicole, I just want you to test your yes and your no first. So just find out where is yes, where is no. I actually feel like your polarity is a little reversed. So I'm going to actually swap here just really quick. If you want to swap your polarity, just kind of go back and forth, an X on your chest. Okay, so you have your yes and your no, Nicole?
Yep.
Okay. going to go a little bit deeper, and we're going to kind of go on a meditative journey. And I want you to kind of sink down. I want you to pull your energy in towards yourself. I'm going to collapse down your energy field, almost like a shield over your body. Pull in your energy, call it really close to you as a protection, as a temporary barrier. And I'm going to just ask to release it back out. Just kind of give your body that feeling of safety. We're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go on a journey, finding a space of peace, of balance. Take a deep breath in, of calm. And I want you to set the intention you're tuning in, connecting and speaking with yourself on a soul level, on the higher self, on a pure energetic level. All right. Just ask yourself, are you connected to your higher self? Let me know if you get a yes or a no.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to ask the higher self, where's the first point in time that I need to start my healing journey? Where am I stuck? And whatever comes to your mind, the first thought, sentence, phrase, just tell us what that is.
I feel like I'm not getting anything specific except for when you were little,
Okay.
but nothing real, like no age came.
Okay. So I felt an age for you. I want to kind of use this as a quick example. So her body's like, I'm little, but they don't want to go anywhere in specifics. So ask your body first, is it safe for me to know how old I was?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me the age that I was, please? And just say, I would like to know my age or whatever that is. Just ask the age again.
7 is the first that comes to me.
7. Okay. So I'm going to pause right here really quickly. If you're still struggling with getting an age, but your body is telling you, I can release the age. What I do is I start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, for me, the body kind of stops around 6, but it still gives a little bit of a yes around 7. So I'm always off on dates, by the way, because I had 6. So I am always off about a year or so, because also the subconscious mind doesn't always know the time. So, okay, so we know for you it's around 7, but anybody else, you can use that and just kind of go count the days. Okay. And so we're going to communicate with your 7-year-old self. So ask your body, can I communicate with my 7-year-old self? Let me know if you get a yes or a no.
I gotta know.
Okay, we got to know. So it is not safe to communicate with your 7-year-old self. Ask if your 7-year-old self is being protected.
If my 7-year-old self is what?
Being protected.
Oh. Protected. Yes.
Okay. Ask if it would be unsafe to talk to your 7-year-old self.
I'm not really getting a yes or a no, kind of a back and forth.
All right, so back and forth, and we get like a wobbly or swirly. Yeah. Sometimes that means we've asked the question in a wrong way. Sometimes this means that the body is unsure. So typically what I do is I try to ask a question in a different way. Maybe we should ask, is there a way to safely communicate with my 7-year-old self?
Is there a way to safely communicate? I gotta know.
Okay. So when the body says no, that's really important to pay attention to. And I'm actually really glad that your body said no, because this means that if we push into healing, we can cause a healing crisis, an emotional crisis. We can cause a problem, right? And so that's really, really important to know. Okay, we need to pull back and say, we can't actually talk to this 7-year-old self. This might cause a crisis. So the question I want to ask your 7-year-old self, is it safe to heal my 7-year-old self without talking to my 7-year-old self? Or, phrase it whatever way you want with that.
Yes for that.
Okay. So this is actually, like, I'm so glad this happened. Like, I'm not, it seems like this is really important, because sometimes, and especially if there's childhood trauma, what I have seen with clients is that if there's a significant trauma, abuse or something like that, oftentimes what happens is I've actually seen angels or guardians or your own guardian angels or your ancestors come in. They take the soul and they pull it into a space of white light during the trauma, and then they release you back out after the trauma. And they do that to protect you. There's sometimes it's important maybe not even to unravel it, or you're not ready to unravel it. And so that's really important to pay attention. And we don't always need to know what's going on to heal it. And as you can see here, her subconscious is like, yeah, no, 7-year-old self is a no-go, but we can still heal it. And so pay attention to that, right? We don't want to create a healing crisis, but the body is like, I can heal this. And if the body says, no, we can't heal this, then we can say, can you show me another time when it's safe for me to start healing, and go into a phase of where it's safe for you to start healing. Remember, our healing is in layers. And so every layer you peel back is going to reveal another layer. And so it might be something smaller or more subtle that you need to work on healing before you go into like a major event when you were like 7 or whatever happened to Nicole. Do you remember what happened to you, or no, Nicole?
Oh, I know my parents got divorced shortly after that. So I don't know if it was that is the trauma necessarily, or something happened that I don't remember around then.
Yeah. So that's, there could just be parents yelling and fighting. It could have been more, but the body is like, I don't want to go there. And so we're not going to go why, but we are going to say we can heal. And I think this is a great example of how energy healing and spiritual healing is different than counseling and therapy, because counseling and therapy will be like, no, let's pull this up. And I'm like, no, we're not going there, because we're not counselors and therapists, right? We're just doing some energy spiritual healing. Okay. So let's ask your body, what does my 7-year-old self need to know or feel in order to heal?
I'm kind of feeling stonewalled. I feel like I'm not getting, like, I don't know if my connection isn't it, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
or my body's just like, I said no. That's kind of how it feels.
Yeah, no, it's good. This is a great example. If you feel stonewalled, that's fine. Okay. So we're just going to go with this. We're going to go with, okay, we're stonewalled. The body is not going to tell us what we need to heal or how to heal it, but it says that we can. And so that's the most important part, is that we can. And so we're going to kind of go into a meditation and a visualization. So let's see, where are we going to take this with you? Show me. So I want you to feel into your heart. The heart is the home of the soul, the subconscious. It is the repository for emotions and experiences on a soul level. And I want you to find a file cabinet or a calendar or a book. Vision that in your heart, the record that is keeping score of the experiences that are affecting your body. Ask your heart to show you the record that is engraved on your heart where 7-year-old self was hurt in some way. And you will probably notice that there's locks or blocks surrounding this record, and that's okay. I want you to take a deep breath in and envision a beautiful violet golden flame. And I want you to ask your soul, can I safely burn, dispose, and release of this experience?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Throw the object into the fire. We're going to watch it burn, disintegrating into ashes. And then, like dust in the wind, we ask our angels, our ancestors, our higher power, God created the universe, to sweep up the dust, to remove it from our hearts, leaving a clean, healed version, a healed space where that wound once was. We're going to fill any cracks or crevices in your heart with a gentle white light, replacing the space that was storing that object with that healing light. The next thing that I'd like you to do is ask if you can reintegrate your 7-year-old self, or if there's any missing pieces of 7-year-old self that can be brought back into your body.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you need to bring those back in?
I'm getting that wobbling, like I don't know.
Okay.
Says yes, I can, but I don't know is what comes up next.
What I see for you is this almost childlike form that's like glittery, sparkly dust forming a child. And there's like these leftover little bits of energy for you. So what feels good to you? Breathing that in, hugging it in, allowing it to come back into your body. Whatever feels good for you, envision that kind of sparkly, glittery dust, the shape of a 7-year-old you, and ask it to come reintegrate back into your soul, back into your higher self. Pardon me. And then pull that back in. Ask it to stay with you and become a piece of you again. Just kind of feel those little bits of you settle back into your soul.
It was a really interesting feeling. It was like I could feel that settling back in. And like the description of the glittery, it's like I felt little glitter dots. It was weird.
That's good. That's cool. I like it. So, okay, ask your soul, is there anything else I need to heal this moment in time for my 7-year-old self?
No.
No. Okay. So, what I always do at the end of my healing sessions is I envision that we're surrounded by a beautiful healing white light. It's kind of like an energy bandage. And so we're going to send an energy bandage backwards in time. So first thing we're going to do is envision a beautiful white glowing ball of light in your hand. And I imagine sending that back in time to heal, balance, and restore the energy that we healed from 7-year-old self. And then we're also going to take a piece of that white light and energy. Imagine it's swirling around our body like a beautiful, warm, white vortex of light, filling in any cracks, any crevices, any holes, creating a shell and a boundary of healing around our body. I want you to ask your body and your subconscious, how long does this healing light need to stay with me?
A week.
Okay. So we're going to set the intention. This healing light stays with us for a week. Then it can replenish its energy from the plants, from the trees, from the earth, the sun, the air around you. And then after a week, the body will release this healing boundary, this healing light to complete the healing. And I just want you to kind of put your hand over your heart and just the love and gratitude for your body. And tell your body, thank you. Thank you for healing, past, present, and future. Just feel a little bit of love and gratitude for the soul, the subconscious. Take a deep breath in. And release. All right, we gotta come back into the room. Oh, I must have did some healing too because I was sneezing and yawning. So sneezing, burping, farting, coughing, even having to go pee or number 2 can show energy releases, by the way. So like I've had clients where we do energy healing sessions. So like I have to pee really bad. I'm like, go release, go get that out of your body.
Yeah.
So when we do, we're literally what we're doing is self-healing work right now, self-energy healing, guys. And so we just went through with Nicole how to do self-energy healing. So before we kind of go through the meditation again, does anybody have questions or anything that came up as we worked with Nicole that you're not clear on, or things that you need clarity on before we start? Because I want to make sure everybody's kind of on the same page before we kind of jump into this. This, while I'm waiting for questions, this is a healing technique that I kind of do myself. But I will tell you that I was never taught this in any of my Reiki classes, and anything close to this was, like level 5, 6 pranic healing stuff, and I feel like it should be level 1 of really learning how to communicate with your soul and heal things. So, okay, Jessica says, do they do this one time a week per layer? Can you heal many years? Here's the answer to this. This is where your body says, how long does that light need to stay with you? So Nicole said a week. Your body might say 24 hours. I've had clients that said 60 days, right? So however long your body is saying to hold that light with you is how long you should wait until you do your next session with yourself. Okay. The reason why is that we're healing wounds. And if you do it anytime sooner, it's kind of like picking at a scab. Or, if you have stitches and you decide to go running and you burst a stitch, it's just not a great plan, and I know we get really excited about healing. We're like, yeah, I'm going to go heal. I'm going to go do. I'm going to just boo, boo, boo every week. And I'm going to release everything. And in like 6 months, I'm going to be this big badass. Right. But we can overwhelm the body. And I am of the opinion that we listen to the body. You can do, like, if Reiki and things like this, you can do general cleansing every day. That's okay. This is different. This is like, hey, like, I mean, I don't know, Nicole, I can't remember how old you are, but I think you're near my age, right?
I'm a couple of years older than you.
Okay. So, I'm 43 and we won't have Nicole tell you how old she is, but Nicole's been holding on to this for 30 plus years, right? That's a big wound that's been there for a long time. So it needs some extra time to kind of let go, heal, and balance. Okay. So kind of keep that in your mind with you, and keep in mind too, it's just like if you go and have surgery, you're not going to go the next day and run a marathon. You're going to rest for a while, rebalance, and then gradually go back into it again. And so while it's really exciting to go into these parts and to be like, oh, I'm going to heal, I'm just such a badass. Listen to your body. Okay. Listen to your body. Yes. So we are asking our higher self these questions. So the muscle testing I first taught you is a really simple way to get yes or no answers. However, you can see that Nicole was getting more answers beyond just yes or no. And that's okay. Your answers will be the first thing that kind of just pops up. Like, like last, when we did this for me, I was like, what am I scared of? And the body was like, ice cream. And I was like, ice cream, what? And you're going to go, what? Or you're going to start overthinking it. That first thought, I'm just going to grab it, take it. Okay, this is what's true, and if you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling confusion, it typically that means that we're going in the wrong direction. And so if you get that wobbly, I don't know feeling, ask a different question, take it in a different direction, and kind of just go where you're feeling is good for you. A lot of what this class is teaching you to understand your higher self again, giving you your healing power back to you so that you don't need people like me, that you can self-heal, that you can be self-aware. And so it's not just teaching you healing, but it's teaching you how to connect to your higher self and your intuition. And everyone is a healer, even if it's just a personal level, right? You can heal yourself. If you've ever had a cut or a break, your body knows, right? We're just kind of going in and reminding self, saying, hey, when you got stuck when you were 7 years old, it's time to move on from it. Okay. Unstick yourself, because what happens is that the way to envision it is like pieces of your soul stuck in the past. And so we actually end up fragmenting our soul. I have gone through with people where we've had to reintegrate 7, 8, 9, 10 layers at a time. I have clients who had significant traumas where their souls are completely disconnected from their bodies. And it's a way to keep us safe. But your souls are not always used to you being there, or those pieces being there. So that's why we go real gentle. Nicole said this is really helpful in remembering to take that first answer you got, no matter how weird it seems. Yeah, that's why when you asked how long do I need to hold it, I almost sounded confused when I said a week, because I started second guessing. Yeah, and that's the thing. Remember, doubt your doubts before you doubt your intuition. Okay, so your intuition's the first voice, the first thought that comes to your mind that prompts you to do something helpful, healing, or beneficial for yourself or for anyone you have agency over. So your children, your family, etc. Right? And so you are used to second guessing yourself, guys. You are used to questioning yourself or being like, oh, that's not like what mom said or dad said or the world says. I don't know, this sounds weird. We're very used to second guessing ourselves. We're used to someone else having authority over us and telling us how to fix ourselves, how to heal ourselves. And so that's why it's really, really important to really just listen to what it says. And as long as it's not saying something like go jump off a bridge or rob a bank, those are mental health care concerns. If you start going into dark stuff, go talk to a therapist. But if it's something good or beneficial, just go with that. If you are disconnected from your soul with this exercise, bring it back. That is the goal, that it will bring it back. Now, I will say, if you've had significant trauma, we're talking like I've had a lot of sexual abuse clients that I work with where their souls are disconnected, you might need help to get reconnected. But the goal of this is to give the power back to you so that you don't. And so you might just need a few times of going over and over again to reconnect, right? Don't push yourself. If it doesn't work the first time where you're still feeling lost, okay, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to come back and try again. Continue to try, right? And if you just feel completely stuck, email me. and we can do another healing session or something, either privately, and I don't charge for healing work, or we can set up a group class for just healing meditation. You might want to go check out the fight or flight meditations that I have on SoundCloud. Okay, so don't get frustrated, don't give up. Sometimes it might take a little bit to get back in and say, hey, I know you've really been blocking me because you're scared, but let's do this, and that's why a lot of people get stuck, is because we pile up and push back all the emotions. We so disconnect from our higher self. We forget our purpose. We forget how to heal. We forget who we are as spiritual beings. And so if you've forgotten or you're disconnected, please just keep trying and know that you will eventually have the ability. The first time I remember, and Nicole's heard this story probably 100 times, like 7 years ago, it was actually probably 8 years ago now. I went to my mom and I was like, everybody knows how to use their intuition and I don't. And I've never had an intuitive thought ever. And I'm always wrong. Like I was upset. I was like crying. And she goes, it's like a muscle. You have to keep using it and you have to, continue on. And so sometimes connecting with your higher self might look like little tiny steps at a time, and every step forward is a good step. So, if you go into this and your intuition's like, that's enough, okay, we'll stop for now. We'll try again. Or if your intuition's leading you somewhere else and your mind is leading you, go with it. As long as it's not harmful, then just kind of follow that and know that the more you do it, the stronger you will get. And I didn't believe my mom when she said that. I was like, no, there's no way I'll never be able to do this. Like the first class I went to with my friend Susie, she was teaching psychic development and I got everything wrong. I couldn't figure out anything. I couldn't connect to myself. I remember telling her, I think you guys are wrong. I was like, I think you and Des and everybody who says I'm this medical intuitive and the psychic are completely wrong. I can't do this. This is just too hard. And she goes, no, eventually you'll get out of your own head and you'll be able to listen. And she's right. I did. It took me a few years. But, that's why we start small and we work bigger. So all right, technically we're at end of class time, but I'm still going to go into the meditation. So you guys are welcome to leave or stick with me, whatever you want to do. But you are welcome. So we're going to kind of just go through and do this again. And hopefully I will remember the process again, because this class is very spirit-led. I didn't even make a single note for this class. And I felt very inspired to keep it that way. And most of my classes have 3 pages of notes. So I'm a little nervous myself. I'm like, what if I don't remember what Spirit said? And then I'm like, well, Spirit will just tell you again. So even I get nervous about this stuff. No worries. All right. So we're going to do the 3 deep breaths and recenter in. Nicole kind of just did some healing stuff with you. So ask yourself if you're okay with moving with us, or otherwise you can just sit and stare at us awkwardly for the next couple minutes. So. All right. So, okay, we're going to start with the 3 deep breaths, envisioning in you're breathing in pure white light. This is just to recenter the body. So first deep breath in. Pause and exhale. Second deep breath in. Pause and exhale. Third deep breath in. And exhale. All right, so we're going to start with grounding. This means reconnecting to the earth, sending roots down to the earth. We're seeking not only to connect with Mother Earth, but the Vasudhara chakra that is below your feet, that is a beautiful ball of energy. There's any colors that are connected with your soul. So no colors, right or wrong, just whatever you see. I want you to connect in whatever way you need to, down into the earth, connecting around through that ball of energy. And as you draw that ball of energy up, it's going to go up, up, up through the spine, past all your chakras, up through your crown chakra, connecting you to source energy, God, creator, the universe, the stars. Take a deep breath in. Just want you to feel what it feels like to be fully grounded, fully connected. All right. We're going to go on a journey of reconnecting to our higher self. And so I want you to breathe into your body. Just first ask, where is yes? True yes. And where is no? Ask your body, mind, and soul permission to connect to your higher self. If you have permission, hold on to that. If you do not have permission to connect to your higher self, let's go a little bit deeper. Breathe in. Go down past the conscious, past the fears. Go into your heart. To feel your heart beat. Every beat is the beat of your soul. This is the unique signature that is yours and yours alone. Reconnect to that energy. Open up the door. Connect to your higher self and your soul. Let's take a deep breath in and really breathe into your heart. Let's ask the heart. You can put your hand over your chest if you like. To take us back into time. Take me to the first point of healing. Take me to the point in time that I need to heal. Ask how old you were, or if this is going back to generational, just feel into who that belongs to. Ask the higher self, is it safe for me to continue healing at this point of time? If you get a yes, let's continue on. If you get a no, ask your body to reveal to you a point in time of your life that is safe to heal. And when we have all found our point in time that is safe to heal, I want you to spend a moment with that time, asking your higher self if it's safe to know what we are healing. If it is safe to know, let's recognize what that is. Let's feel it. Let's process that emotion. Process the sensations. Ask your higher self if there's anything special that you need to heal this part of you. It may be emotions, it may be sensations, it may be as simple as love. Take a deep breath in. Let's communicate to the higher self and tell our higher self we have everything we need right here, right now, in the past, present, and future to heal. Ask the higher self and the soul, can we have permission to heal? When we get a yes, we move forward. I want you to envision the pieces of you that have been left in the past. the sparkly little glittery pieces of your soul, the fractured tiny bits. And I want you to ask them to come back to you. Ask the past to be reintegrated with the present self. Breathe in the light and the energy. Call back the pieces of you. With love, peace, and acceptance and gratitude, welcome back all pieces of you. Envision that white light, ball of energy into your hands. Ask the white light to go back into the past, to fill in the holes, the cracks, the crevices in the memory, in the past, in the universe. We send healing to replace the energy that we have brought back, to rebalance the earth, to rebalance the past. We call that beautiful white light to surround our body as it heals all fractures and breaks and crevices, creating a boundary, a shell of protection and healing around our bodies. Ask your body, mind, and soul how long this white light needs to stay with you. It may be 4 days or 40 days. There is no right or wrong answer. Envision that it is connecting to the particles of energy in the air around you, to the trees, to the earth, to the heavens, drawing the healing energy that you have permission to access to your body, mind, and soul to continue the healing process. Place your hand over your heart. Just spend a moment feeling gratitude. Gratitude for the bravery that you have had in the past to overcome the odds, the obstacles. Gratitude for the healing that has occurred, past, present, and future. You tell the body, mind, and soul, thank you. Let's take a deep breath in. I want you to just say release. Release any remaining stagnant energy. Release any extra energy that you're holding on to. Release the past. Embrace the now. Envelop yourself in the healing. Give yourself permission to continue healing. Continue understanding and connecting to your body, mind, and soul. Take one more deep breath in. And let me say thank you. When you're ready, come back into the room. Kind of focus back in, move your fingers and your toes. So I noticed for one, the healing wasn't totally the same as what we went through with Nicole. And I think that that is okay. And I'm going to tell you why. When I learned pranic healing and Reiki, to some ways, has very specific protocols. Do this, use this light, use this color, do this, right? And focus on healing. And the protocols can absolutely work, but we're focused more on using our intuition and following us where we need to go. And so during this one, I was actually doing self-healing for my 4-year-old self. and my body kind of guided me a little bit differently. And so when we get guided, I want you to follow where you're guided versus trying to follow a specific protocol. We're going to use, this as a rough framework of, okay, connect to the higher self, understand our yes and no's, ask permission to heal, and then move into healing, right? But just understand that sometimes it can be a little bit more or a little bit less. It can look slightly different. This time, I didn't really feel called to find the story in the book and burn that, right? But if you do, and you want to find that, do that. And I think partially, up here in my mind, why we went a little more simple is because we had several people on here going on several different paths. And so it was a little bit more simplified. So you can utilize the simplified version, or if you want to go in a little bit further and deeper, where you're finding the vessels of the past and burning and releasing those, definitely do that as well. Use everything that you've learned and use bits and pieces or all at once. And that is the beautiful thing about learning self-healing, about going back and asking, what do we need versus what do we think up here we need? Where are we being led? Where are you being heart led? And I know for me, when I started this, I was like really worried that I would like not remember everything, but I got this overwhelming sense of like peace that we don't have to remember everything because we're going on a specific journey of healing. And that might look different every time, right? But we can use this rough framework to guide us where we need to go of, okay, we're connecting to the higher self, we're grounding, where are we going with this? Where do I need to go with this? I know when we did the whole ice cream healing thing, Nicole was there, I was asking my higher self, what am I afraid of? What is the fear that is preventing my body from losing weight? For me, that was ice cream. But really, when we went deeper and asked the soul to reveal what it was, the soul was saying, well, actually, you're afraid of a lot of foods because your parents told you that they would kill you. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, they pretty much told us everything was going to kill us, right? And so I was actually afraid it would kill me because I grew up with a father that was he was a naturopath. Like Halloween candy was raisins to us. We had carrot juice every morning. So like we never had ice cream unless it was on a birthday. And we were always told it would kill us, that it was horrible for us. And so I actually had belief systems ingrained in my body that ice cream would kill me. And so if you believe that any food will kill you, then your body is going to have a fear and a fight or flight response around any foods, right? For me, sugar, dairy. When I cut out dairy, my body starts to release weight. Why? Because there's a fear response around dairy. It's really interesting. So this is like, if I can't teach you anything else from this class, so important to go where your spirit led. Go where your higher self is leading you and where it's asking you to do things. Communicate with yourself. Can I release this? Do I need to know more? Do I need to burn this? Do I need an angel to help me? Do I need a higher self to help me? Do I need a guide or an ancestor from the past? Whatever your intuition is pushing you towards, please follow it. Again, like I said, unless it's pushing you towards harming yourself or others, then please go get some support. But other than that, please follow where it's leading you, because that is really where this class is helping you understand your own unique way of communicating with self, understanding yourself, and letting your higher self lead you on that healing journey versus what we know or what a book says that we need to do or things like that. And I'm a bibliophile. I mean, my gosh, I just ordered 2 new books today, which are probably waiting from Amazon right now on my porch. I love books, right? There's great wisdom that we can find from books, but the best wisdom you're going to find is connecting with your higher power and your higher self and letting that guide you on your journey. If you guys are interested, literally before this class, I felt inspired to create a course called Healing Body, Mind, and Soul. I've had a lot of people ask me about spiritual healing for weight loss, and I'm like, you're asking someone that weighs 230 pounds to teach you this stuff. And I'm a little scared to do it, but I am going to add, I think like a 6-week class, and it's not quite up, but I will send you an email on it. I just need to tweak a couple things on it, where essentially I'm going to have you follow my journey, and I'm going to teach you everything I know about spiritual healing when it comes to the body, when it comes to weight and things like that. So you will kind of be following me on my own journey, and in the process, I hope that it can help you with some of your healing, even if you don't need to lose weight or things like that. Because really this class is about healing the body, mind, and soul, not focusing as much on weight loss, but the goal is to have that outcome. So there will be things that we touch on that, but it's just like when my friend came to me and she goes, I want you to heal me so I don't smoke anymore. And I told her, I said, I'm not going to heal you and stop you from smoking, but I'm going to heal you to the point where you love yourself and you don't feel the need to smoke anymore, you know? And within 3 sessions, she was like, I don't feel like I need to smoke anymore. This is so crazy. And I was like, because you love yourself anymore. You lost all of that stress, that fight or flight. Because if you look at smoke, I used to be a smoker. What is this? Deep breath, release. It's breath work. Smoking is breath work. And so we just taught her a different way to do it. So if you are interested in that, just watch out for your email. I will send it to you guys first, you know, with probably a little discount as a special thank you, because it's not, I mean, I think I might charge like $97 for a 6-week class. It's going to be freaking cheap as all get out. But again, probably because I feel a little inadequate to teach this, you know. So, but if you're interested, that will be coming along. And there's always going to be lots of other classes that are coming along that are free. Tons of free classes on YouTube for you guys to connect to. I still have more I'm going to be adding all over left and right. So keep in mind, there's always plenty of resources for you guys to start your healing. I appreciate you guys coming to class today. Hopefully everyone found some value in this that can kind of get you forward on healing your past. Yeah, thank you guys for attending today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Is there any questions before we go and before we close class? Just want to give everybody the opportunity to make sure that they feel seen and heard before I go. You are welcome, everyone. Jenny, Nicole, Lydia, thank you. So, all right. Well, I don't see any more questions, but if you have a question, just email me. You guys have a beautiful Sunday, and hopefully I'll see you around in some future classes. So, all right, everybody. Bye.